Hello everybody, this is John Bishop with the Live and Learn channel. Today, I'm down here by the lake, going to do a video for you, so overlook the background noise and bear with me please. So, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, and it's going to have a lot of content, so keep that in mind. First I want to start off by saying what this is about. This is going to be the 1000th Facebook subscriber challenge / giveaway kickoff. Okay, I volunteered and kind of pushed forward on wanting to be the first one. Kind of lays the groundwork for everything else, and that's what I want to do here. Because first I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. I'm truly humbled by what's going on in this community, and I don't use that word lightly. Okay, keep that in mind. Community. I know when we come up with this, it was just a conversation one day between friends, and we thought how great it would be to have a place where we could share ideas and not have to worry about somebody pushing something on us, trying to sell us something, trying to get us to go to a class, or try to overall make their ego feel the size of, the Eiffel Tower. So what we ended up thinking of, and what has come to tuition now, is the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. We wanted an open forum of honest and truthful help and community feel, family feel, and I think we've achieved it. And I am truly, for one, humbled by it. I'm humbled by everything that you each and every one of you have done. It's just not a Facebook page where a bunch of people come in and, do seagulls. They come in, make a bunch of noise, crap on a bunch of stuff, and fly off. It is an actual community that has a good solid base that is building towards something better and better every day. A lot of people are giving away gear that they no longer use. It isn't sitting in the closet. Gear needs to be used. It needs to go out in the bush and be used. People need to be out in the field more and do things more. Even if it's in your backyard, you need to practice and learn things and push yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. So with that being said, I truly, from the bottom of my heart, me and all the admins, truly say thank you. Me and all the founders truly say thank you. Everybody on the page, you have went above and beyond what we would have thought. You might not think it. You might think, well, all I do is come on here and look at pages, look at posts or something. But we're reaching people, and something you might learn, you will teach somebody else or show somebody else, or somebody just might get turned. You might turn somebody else onto the channel, and they might learn something. And that's what we truly are here for. I want to share the knowledge that I have. All the others want to share the knowledge that they have, and you want to share the knowledge that you have. And it's a perk to have people who are generous and helpful, and it's a good thing. People in this world aren't that way, so we won't get into that. Now, this is the 1000th subscriber competition / giveaway. So with that being said, I'm going to go over, I'm going to pause the camera and get rid of this, and then I'm going to use this platform to show you what you're going to get. Okay? So, bear with me. Give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. That took a couple more minutes than I thought it would, but I got everything out of the way, and I just wanted to show everybody, if I can get this, what you're going to get. So I'm going to kick this off. We're going to kick it off with a bang. So this is what you're going to get, and then I'm going to tell you what you got to go through to get it. All right. So I'm going to do a kit breakdown of this, and then a special segment, and then I'm going to tell you what you got to do. All right. So let's get started. This is the complete Pathfinder nesting bottle, cook and water set, I guess is what you would call it. This is a complete bottle set, 32 ounce. Molly geared strap, so you're able to slash it to your gear, whatever you like to wear, large. Now this is the large bag, so let me unzip it here. First thing I'm going to get out is going to be the strap. So it comes with a strap, so you can hook it into the sides, both ends, and you can carry it separately, just like like a haversack. And trust me, there's a lot of extra room in here. What I'm going to pull out of here, and you've got a massive amount of more room. This is the Gen 3 bottle, I do believe, and this is the newest one from the Pathfinder school. Just got it in. It's the embroidered top instead of the like iron-on stamp that was on it, but it comes with the carrying strap. And then inside of it, we'll break apart all the gear, and then I'll describe what it is. But before we go into that, before I pull it out, everything is nested in here. I want you to be able to look inside of it. I'm going to take my hand, it's a pretty good size, and as you can see, I've got all that in the side and this top and here. All right, so let me pull this out and we'll go over it right quick. Now, this is very large. I'll give you some advice. There'll be some tips in this for you. Get you like I use a chicken broth down here in the States. It comes in a very large container that all this stuff will nest down inside of, and you can put that inside of here, and I think it's something like a 60 some ounce, so it'll fill one of these up and you'll have an extra container. So there's some more stuff inside of this I'll go over after I go over this. First thing we got, it's the Pathfinder 32 ounce water bottle, Gen 3 top, brand new, 32 ounce water bottle. You can make char cloth in this, and if nobody understands that, I'll go over that in a moment. But of course, boil water in, cook in, the whole nine for it. Then you have the nesting cup. You've got your handles. You got your holes, which I'll show you what them are for shortly. Also inside of it is your ounces and milliliters. So if you're doing certain cooking, a certain amount of water. Logo on the front, and it's large, as you can see. My hand's pretty good size, so it's a pretty good size cup. That's a nesting cup. All right. I got the stove. We all understand what the stove does. I have this back. Stove pretty much set it down. You can start a fire underneath it, put every twig small as you want into it, and get it cooking to boil your water or your lunch, you know, or just hot water for washing up or tea or food, whatever you need. You have your lid. Now your lid is something a little on the different side. Your lid goes on, fits over top of the cup, and that's in pretty good. And you can hold it in and it pours, so it's still got the ability to pull it off, but you also can pour through it. So that does good, especially when you're doing certain cooking. Like I said, you've got your handle, so then you don't have to burn yourself. You can still pour it out. So you can see the cup the lid does lock. So now I'm going to show you why this has cuts and the side has it. And I'm going to take off the cap right quick to show you something else with it. All right. Now in the front compartment of this, you can see, and it's quite large pocket, is the rest of the kit. All right, now this kit, let me get situated here. This kit is the fire aspect and a utensil. So this is going to be, you know, pretty much you could just get your tender bundle together, light yourself up a fire, and get to cooking as soon as you get it. First thing we're going to get, this is it's the sport plastic one of the Light My Fire. All right, so you're going to have that. Give you something to eat with. Next is going to be the fish mouth spreader. That's what it's used for. You can see that. Now you put that back together. This hooks right back in, and you open it up. Now what these jaws do, let me get this cup. You put them inside where them holes are, just like that. See that? And it'll hang, and you can hang this over your fire, or if you need to carry tinder, you only got one fire, it's a survival situation, fill this up with coals, keep feeding it as you're going, so you're putting small twigs and stuff in it, keep it going, and you can carry it with you. Now what's good about this is they've also incorporated those slits in the lid, so you can put the lid on it. Now with that going, you can put it in, take it with a stick, and you can dump out the water that's in it to let it cook, or you can just boil water in this. While you're boiling in this, you can fill up that. See what I'm saying? But it does work. It works pretty good. I like it very well. Now, I will show you something else. You take these off. We know we got the lid for that. And everybody understands how that works. Now, if you fill up your 32-ounce water bottle with, you can also put it on your water bottle. Right? And now, your water bottle can be hanging over the fire. And when you get done with that, you can pull it out. You can take a stick, hold it onto the bottom, dump your water out. All right? So, that is your 32-ounce nesting cup, bottle and cup, with a lid, a stove, your mouth spreaders, your Light My Fire sport, spoon and fork, sorry. And you got a couple more items in the bag with it. And all this comes as a kit. This is one complete kit. You have a ferro rod, okay? And then on that ferro rod is a striker that has measurements. This is a bottle opener. And this edge is the striker. I'm not going to strike it because I want it to be brand new when you get it. All right, but it will strike off. Okay, so it will strike off. Brand new. All right, so you get ferro rod. And you get these. They are the Mini Inferno. All right. Now, the Mini Inferno, I don't know if you've ever used it. It is no matter how wet it gets, it will light off. There's quite a few of them in there. Impregnated plastic coat. It feels waxy. Doesn't have a smell to it, per se. So, but you get a bundle of these. Now, I carry these in my kit. Let me reach over there and get it for you. All right. I do carry them in my kit. I carry it in a small can, and that's all it is. You see that right there? That's all it is. You pull it out, mat it up some. See that fiber? That's what you want, is that fiber. And then that lights. I think they said they're like 5 minutes or so, 3, 4, 5 minutes, somewhere around in there. But if you've got wet tinder, that is one of the best things you can use for it, because it is something that will roll on pretty well, even under damp conditions. So, this is the main kit. The water bottle, the nesting cup, the stove, the lid, fish mouth spreader, ferro rod, spoon and fork Light My Fire, and the Mini Inferno. This is your gift. How could I say? Prize, rather. Excuse me. Wrong vernacular. This is your prize. And inside of that, it all goes into this with plenty of room left over. And I do mean plenty of room left over. And I'll hook this bag up right quick for you so you can get an idea. It's like you could use this as a day haversack. Just take out into the field and add some food to it. You can see, carries pretty good. Fairly good padded shoulder that moves. You can take it off if you want to. You can strap it to your pack, add another bag to it, put something else in it. So you have a lot of room in here. In this front pocket, as you can see, I can double my fist up in it. You have a lot of room you could put in there if you wanted to. It does have a drain hole in the bottom, so if you get water down in it or bad weather, it has got what seems like a rubbery coating on the inside. Both that and the top. Seems pretty good. So, but this is the price. I want everybody to understand this is the main thing that I'm giving away to you. So, now, don't think there's only got to be one of you to win it. So, I don't want it to be, how could I put it? There's always a runner-up for me. There's always somebody. Nobody's going to be a loser in it. If you try and you can barely get anything, you're trying, and that's winning for me. All right. So what I'm going to do, how we're going to plan this out, is I'm going to give you 3 tasks, and you can pick one of those 3. Okay. You don't have to do all 3 of them unless you want to. You can go as far with this as you want, but I just want want you to understand you only have to do one. All right, now to win this kit, I want you to either make three things, one of three things: char out of 100% cotton, punk wood, or fungus. Either one of those three things for char that you want. Okay, and what I mean by that is you can take punk wood, which I thought I had some laid out here. I do. Yeah. You can take punk wood. If anybody knows what punk wood is, it's just wood that is at the verge so much that it just crumbles. See that? That's punk wood. See that? Now, punk wood, you have to dry it for quite a while, but it can be done. You can put fungus in, tree fungus, stuff like that, or you can just put in, get an old t-shirt, 100% cotton, old bandana, and cut up an inch or so square, 2-inch square, and char it. Okay, now I've charred a lot in this. I'm going to show you something that I do and something I think that most people overlook, but I'll do that in a minute. So that's the first one, make char. Okay, if you choose to do that, the options that you have is going to be punk wood, cotton material, or tree fungus. Okay, next I want you to make a feather stick. All right, now doesn't matter how big it is. Only thing that matters is that you practice with a sharp knife, and be careful, by the way. I don't want to see a bunch of people cut up, because you can get cut real easy. See that finger? Doesn't take much. Horseman likes blood, by the way. I just want you to take extra caution with your knife when you do this, and know that to make a proper good feather stick can really help you out, especially when you have very little to no tinder. Okay, I've got a lot of tinder laying here, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So number 2 is make a feather stick. Okay, number 3 is a tinder bundle, and I don't want you to use jute twine. All right, what I want you to do is I want you to make a natural tinder bundle. What I mean by that is you can use dried grass, but it burns fast. Dried grass, outer bark, inner bark, and I really don't want to say pine needles, but you can use pine needles. It all will burn. But what I want you to do is make a proper tinder bundle, and I'll go over that with you. All right, we're not looking for this super fast ignition. You want something that is going to last a little bit, especially if you've got iffy materials, kind of damp. They're not really twigs, they're not breaking real easy and snapping, but I'll show you right quick. All right, so first thing we're going to do is I'm going to pause the camera, move this off, move my stuff in, and then I'm going to go over what I want you to do and give you small examples of it. All right, so just bear with me. Okay, I'm back. Now I'm going to move in a little bit on it. We're going to get a little closer to the stump. Reset the camera, because I want you to see what I'm doing and what I'm messing with. All right, now first thing we're going to go over is a feather stick. All right, now what this is going to create is you want something to be able to catch a flame. All right, I want to show you these things that I did prior to. All right, now what this is going to do, this helps you get the flame burning and rolling up. You're not really worried about it catching this part on fire. Okay, I'm not worried about this, the main body getting caught on fire. What I'm worried about getting caught on fire is the tinder that you would use over top of it. All right, the small twigs and such. That's what all this is doing. It's acting as a tinder bundle. All right, so now the part that is hardest about these is knife discipline. Okay, one, you have to have a very sharp knife, and what I mean by that is you got to have a knife where when you go in there, you're not got to be so dull that it rakes off of it. You don't want that. Okay? What you want is the ability to roll. Okay? See that? See how I'm rolling it? I don't know if you can get it in the camera because I can't get back there and look, but slow and easy, slow and easy. See that? Using the lip of the blade. Now, do you see how that curls up? I'll uncurl that for you. See how that curled up? See that? See how long that is? And that curls just from the edge. And you roll yourself up, edge, roll yourself up. And it don't matter if you kick some off, because understand, you're going to use that no matter what. So let's say I've rolled all this off here. All this can still burn. So when you get your fire ready, that's still going to burn. All right, so you'll put it in, you'll get it at the edge you want, and you'll rake down. Pretty simple. See that? Get it to the end, bend it up some. So you go down, get it to the end, bend it up. See that? Get it to the edge, go down, bend it up. Now, what I'm doing is I'm creating these rolls, that ultra fine, I don't know if you can see it good in the camera, those fine rolls. What that does, like if I do this and I unroll it, see how much of it's in there? All that's going to burn rather quickly. What you got to stay away from is this. Thinking that's going to catch this stick on fire. Okay? It's not. It's not at all. Far from it. Alright, so don't get and think that you're going to cover it up. You're going to do like what I did. See that? Now, it doesn't have to be all the way around. I do it all the way around because I like to use the edges. Okay? If I do it in one spot, which you can, alright? So I just keep doing it in one spot. That's all I do. I like to catch that edge, makes a peak, and start the next one. And then start the next one. See that? Now when I make my tinder bundles, I mean these feather sticks, I get up close to the work. That's why I'm shaving a lot of these off. Because you wouldn't be able to see it if I got up close, but that's... Now when you do this, and you have those kind of curls, sorry, didn't mean to, let me reposition that. And you got those kind of curls. When your light hits it, like this right here would be your flame. See that? See how it cooks? Pretty nice, huh? It just cooks itself down. But understand, as you can see, burns itself off. You'll never cook that wood and get it lit. It's not meant to light this wood on fire. Okay? What it's meant for is to get your tinder cooking. And I'll light this one off with a lighter, and I'll lay it up here and show you. All right? So you can see. But when you get it lit, the wind started blowing. You get it lit up. See how it's going? Now look how long it's burning. See that? Turn it upside down so it can cook itself. Now all your little pieces, you're adding to it. And don't just make one. Do 2 or 3 of them. Now look how long that's burning. If I took another one, set it on top of it. See that? It's already starting to cook. Now, imagine if all you had was some small twigs. See that? Now you got your fire going. Wasn't much to it. But do you notice that the main part of the wood is not cooking? You're not burning. So the core of that, like this back one, I'll pull it off and show you. See that? See that? It's not cooking. It's burned all of its fuel out. Now, that's going to be disheartening to you if that's all you got. But if you have sat down and got your smalls together, and I'm talking twig size, we're talking this, right? That on there, and I had that going a minute ago when it was lit, you'd have fire if you had bundles of this in your hand. You know what I mean? So, but that's what a feather stick is there for. It's not meant to get this part burning. What it's meant for is to get these small twigs a tender bundle. Like this. This is a tender bundle. Alright, I'll show you that in a second. That is just meant as a tender bundle to get extra. So if you've got something real fine you're trying to get started and you get this going on it, this is going to make that body of that flame higher. Alright, so that's number one. Make a feather stick. I showed you how you could roll it up, how it works with it, how well it works. You can see right there. See how long that was that I rolled out? And it'll burn. Now if you do a bunch of them, right, if I did all these and I light them on, and you've done them fine, right, then you have fire. Alright, no big deal. That's what they're for. Now, these are still usable pieces. You've just charred the end of them is all you've done. Now you could take, because you can see here, you've charred it pretty good. You can still take your knife. See that? And make this material usable again. And I'll tell you this, it will light a lot faster charred than it will just the core. So you can definitely see that? Still usable, so it's still good stuff. Now, that's a feather stick. Don't remember, careful on your finger. Careful, careful, it will cut you. So keep your knife angle, right? Go away from you and let it curl. Go away from you, let it curl. See that? Let it curl up. Now, you don't have to bury in the skin, and you don't want to root it. You don't want to get down there bad. You want to just take the outside of it. See that? See what I'm doing? Take the outside of it, roll it. Pretty simple. Alright, so that's one. Number two. Alright, number two is a little different. I want you to do a natural tender bundle. I'm going to show you a couple of natural tender bundles. Natural stuff together. First one I'm going to show you is this dried inner bark. Okay? Good for the outside, really is. What you want to do with a tender bundle is you do not want to gather just grass. Alright? Let me show you everything I've got here. So I've got grass right here. See it? Grass will go up really, really quick. I'll light this off for you. You'll see grass goes up really quick. The parts that you want are inner bark, some outer barks, dried, you can use grass, pine needles. They work great, but understand this is flash. This is really fast when it burns. The inner barks that dry out, those make some of the best because they've got body to them. So when they burn a little hotter and a little slower. All right, you want something good size. about like a grapefruit size, fill up your hand size. So that way when you get your smalls, you've got them. So here's what I'm going to show you. I've got inner bark. This is just peeled from the inner bark of a tulip poplar. All right. I have trusty old pine needles, straight off the ground, easy breezy. All right. You can make you a nest out of that and get it fired up in no time, but it will go up fast. I've got dried grass, which we all know how fast that'll go up. And then I have inner bark. That's from a regular vine. Grows on the sides. Down here, we call them wild vines. But that's what this is. You just peel the outer bark off of them. Works great, by the way, but burns quickly. I have, of course, the bark of, how good that is, birch bark. Beautiful. But I wanted to show you how you get inner bark. All right? Inner bark's a little different. You have the outer bark. Let me get this up here where you can see it. This is outer bark. I just got through peeling it. Matter of fact, I'll show you the log that I peeled it off of. See that? See how this is peeling? This is inner bark. Like I pull this piece off here, and you can see it just strip itself all the way down. See that? Now, when it stripped itself down, look here. Do you see this? See that bark right there? That's inner bark. Now let me show you, just using that piece I pulled off there. All right. Just using it. We'll go down and find some inner bark right here, son. We'll pull it. See how them fibers are? See them fibers? You grab them. Pull your inner bark off of it. And then just start breaking that inner bark down. See that? And you'll grab it and get up underneath, and you'll start pulling this fine stuff. You'll pull it off. See that? Right there? That's inner bark. Catch it with your nail. Pull it up. Now, I've not lost it. I believe I've got it mixed up with the rest of it. I peeled a bunch of that inner bark off, just so y'all could see. But I want you to see how I make that. I just pull it loose from the under edge of that bark. See that? See that? Now, this is inner bark. When that dries, and it'll get yellow, it'll start getting brown real quick. You can actually, I'll leave that sitting there, and if you watch it, you'll see it turns brown really quick. Starting to dry out because it's so thin. But you can actually peel up with your thumb. See that? And just pull it down. See that shaving? And now you do that with a whole bunch of this. You can see here, just grab the edge. See that? See that right there? Inner bark. Now if you peel a big chunk of it off there like I'm getting ready to do, just pull it loose. See that? I'm being gentle with it. I'm usually just like a gorilla. Just grab it and pull it off. See that? See that right there? Pretty good. Get it down to really fine inner bark. Now you imagine it, that's just that little bit that I did right there. Super thin. All right, just grab it with my thumb and fingers. Started pulling on it till the piece come loose. Look at that. See that? Just pull it loose. And keep doing that and breaking it down. You get yourself inner bark. And that inner bark works great for fire starting. I mean, great for fire starting. Like right there, I've just used a little bit. Look at that. How small that is. Now, if I let that dry, especially if I put it on something dark, really suck the moisture out of it, it'd be great. So that's inner bark. Outer bark, and you can shave it down. I'll show you. I'll just throw this stick up here. All right, I'll take the old horseman out, and you can see when I peel up, see how thin that is? How thin that inner bark is? Like paper. Just let that dry, and once it's dried up, you, my friend, have a tender bundle. And you want that tender bundle, like I said, about the size of your hand. You got to cup it good, which is about like this. Okay? And I'll put this up here and I'll show you. Put that down to dry. Look at the size in my hand. And I've really got some stuff on the inside of it there. All right? This is outer bark, some inner bark shaved down, really thinned out good, and some friggin' birch bark down inside of it. So this is the tender bundle that I would normally use, and I'll show you that in a second as soon as I get the rest of this going and show you how fast stuff burns. All right, and why you want what you want. First off, everybody understands and knows that the good old pine needle, right? So pine needle, they go up pretty good when you get them started. See that? Then of course they'll burn. That's what they do. We'll just get them to where they're, put that out, I don't want it to catch up. But it's just a pine needle, right? Now, if you go down here and you get dry grass, work it out a little bit. It's might be a little damp because it was sitting out here. I just gathered it prior to. But make ourselves a little bundle out there, and we'll hit it with this Pharaoh. But if you watch, see how this burns quick and then dies out, burns quick. You can see it's starting to catch up. But you have to start adding stuff to it. All right, so you have to start adding something to get it cooking. Hear that? But as you see, it burns itself out fairly quick. See that? Now, if your smalls were good, no problem. You got plenty here. And I do mean plenty. Right? You have plenty there. No big deal. Think of that, Davy. I'm beating up your knife pretty good. Now, this is dried outer bark from our vine, remember? So I'll put it back in. There it goes. Now, when it goes, the reason you want inner bark like this, if I had inner bark in this and it got bit and started burning, it's going to burn a lot longer. Okay, see how that inner bark is? And it's going to burn a little hotter. See the smoke boiling in there? See that? A lot more heat, higher flamed with that inner bark than it was the other. And you see how it's lasting longer. If you notice, you can see all the white ash. That's where that outer bark burnt. But that inner bark is still cooking. See that? See that? Still going. And you had plenty of time to add more stuff to it. Pretty easy. Right. Now, the tender bundle that I use is here. Now, if you noticed, I used on those, I used a ferrule. what I want you all to use is char cloth, right? So I'll get a piece of char cloth out of my tin here, my Hudson Bay, and we will have at it right quick. Now, here's what I want you to do. Just put it on, hold it up underneath it, so you can see that, right? And take your part and put it down in it. Let it cook for a second. Remember, you're not panicking. Now, what I see a lot of people do, you're supposed to cup it and blow up. Don't blow directly in. Fire. Turn it over and let it eat itself. Okay? Let it be consumed. Notice how it's burning a lot slower, even though the same stuff that burnt the white ashes in there. You can see I have a lot more time to be able to put my tender, I should already have all my small fines on top of that. See that? Look how long it's taken to burn. This white smoke, how thick it is, it's all that inside going. See that? Now you imagine all my little fines getting on top of it. Look at that. Look how it's just sitting there cooking. If you have a good tender bundle, right, this is the kind of stuff you're going to end up having. So if I did that and I didn't have nothing more in this world except some smalls, right, and I get this big boy burning here, right, I can add all the stuff that I want to it. See that? Look how it burns. Look at that heat. Look how high them flames are rising up here. You can hear it consuming. You had all that time. Look at that. Good stuff right there. You had all that time. All right, so remember, the key to that is to put it in, blow from the bottom up. Don't blow straight into it. Blow from the bottom up, let it cook, cup it, okay, and blow into it. When you see flames start to go, turn it over. That way it consumes itself and burns. You've seen how long it took it to burn out. So that all spread out and it'll die. I can take care of it while I'm here. All right. Now, for the last one, all right. Now, what we're going to do here, this is a little different. I'm going to let that cool off. I'm going to show you what most people don't with making char cloth. You can pack it full if you want to. I usually don't. What I end up doing is putting 2 or 3 pieces in it. And because of the sake of time, I'm only going to put a couple in this one. But see that? Just going to put a couple of pieces of regular old t-shirt is all that is. Now I made a modification to this, and this is what I notice people don't do a lot of, but you can do it in the campfire. All right. Whenever your smoke stops going, starts rolling out, and I'll show you that. When you get it off the fire, you want to cover your air hole. This is going to let your smoke escape while you're cooking the insides, right? Well, you want to cover that. So what I do is, which I'll put my gloves on for this, I'll use that to cover it off. See that? But what you can do is pull it off your fire, set it onto the ground in the dirt so air can't get sucked into it. You want to deny this, you want it to give it as much heat as it can take without bursting into flame, but you want to deny it oxygen. That way when you strike it off, with flint and steel, it'll take that ember really, really quick. If you got char that you've got that's really slow to take an ember and you're really laying it on it good, it's probably because it's got a little bit of moisture and it didn't get cooked as thoroughly as it should. Because all you're doing with char is you're getting whatever you have, right? You're getting whatever you have cooked up. I'm going to put a little bit of punk wood in there too. Not a lot, just a little. I'll throw a piece in there. You're trying to get that temperature up as high as you can get it to the point that it wants to ignite, but it can't because it's being denied. Now today I'm not going to start a fire. What I'm going to show you is, a lot of people overlook it, you can do. Alright, that's cool to the touch now. Is you can make char cloth on your grill outside. You can make it on one of these, or you can make it in your campfire. Today, because I want to test out my new little stove here that Joe talked me into purchasing. We're going to build it on on a heater. Okay, just a cook stove. Now I'm going to get my gloves here so we can see. You can see right now she's a cooking. Now what I want you to do, let me get my stick so I can point you in the right direction of this thing. See that right there? See the smoke coming out of the top of that? Let me move this camera up a little bit. Sorry about that. Do you see the smoke coming out of that right there? That is already cooking in there. It's already to the point that it is super hot inside that bad boy. That's why I didn't put a lot in. You can put a lot if you want to. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let that thing cook until you don't see any more smoke coming out of it. All right. See that? Look at all that smoke coming off of it. Now all you're doing is you're superheating it, but you're denying it the ability to burst into flames. All right. So while it's sitting here, while it's cooking, you can still see it. I'm going to show you something I was doing when I was gathering resources. This is some hand-twisted inner bark natural cordage that I made. See that? And also, while I was out doing my stuff, for another project, this is jute twine, twice twisted. I'm going to use that for another project. I just wanted to show you something that I'd been working on and doing. But you can see now, she's a cooking. Now, this might take some time. This is going to be one of the longest parts of it. All right, and you can see she's getting hot. I'll move it around a little bit so it's right in the center. Look at that. Now that's what you don't want. See that? You do not want to allow that to ignite. That's how hot it is in there. That all it took was an adjustment of heat for that to ignite, because it's got oxygen down in it. So when I moved it, the oxygen ignited, and that's what lit this on fire. As you see, I just blew it out. Now, as you can see, it's changing. Right now, the smoke is getting a lot less than what it was when we started. And it's not been that long. What do you notice? There's absolutely no more smoke coming out of it. So I'm going to move my stuff out of the way here. All right. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to take this off and put it down on the ground. Pretty simple. I'm going to turn it over. As soon as we get it, I'm turning it over and putting it in the dirt. All right. And I'm going to show you. There's what we have done. I've turned it over and put it down in the dirt. That way it cannot absorb oxygen. Now what we're going to do, I'll put this back there where you can see the top of the stump. I'll turn my stove off. All right. Now, we're going to leave that there until it's cool to the touch. All right, that's what you want. You want your skin to be your judge. When it's cool to the touch, then it'll be ready to come out. You'll be ready to have it, and I'll show you how it works. But what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take this apart, put it up, and then I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you a little trick, right? While that's cooling. Let's say you have your ferro rod, but you don't have no striker for it. All right, I'm gonna show you something that a lot of people don't use a lot of, but we have to admit a couple things in life now. Everybody, we know us humans are pretty much everywhere. So you're gonna find all sorts of junk. So I found a bottom. See that? Chipped it off. This, just regular beer bottle, will strike that ferro rod. What do you think of that? Told you. Flat out ferro rod. I have these find an edge. Pretty straightforward, pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do, I'll pull this off, pull one of my gloves off here. I'm gonna get out a little bit of this to show you how well that stuff burns. We'll open it up so it takes a spark pretty decent. Okay, and that this can withstand being wet. So there we got that, right? Now I'm using a piece of glass, so I'm going to put my glove back on. You could just use outer bark and create what you need on it, but I can get it in there without looking. I don't know what I'm doing. See how fast that took off? Just sit there and cook. Look at that. And that was just a little sliver. That wasn't a whole piece. All right, I want y'all to understand that. That was just a little, see that? That was just, I ripped what would be basically half and then half again, because it's not a full chunk of that. That's that mini inferno. So, but you can see right there. And it burns, and it burns, and it burns. Look at that. Stuff's amazing. When I first got it, I thought, wow. Now this is some of that inner bark we were drying. Still quite, now you see it put it out. Now, this isn't quite dry enough, but I will show you, just for sakes of argument here. Let me get it back here. All right. Watch this. We will say that we have that wet tinder there. Now this is one whole one. I'll show you. That piece I tore off, watch. See that disc? It's half of that. I'll put it right here. You see I've still got 2 or 3 more down in there. And we will. So I'll pull it back up here. Get that inner bark that's not quite dry there. Put my other glove back on because I'm striking with glass. All right. We'll strike her off. Then while she's cooking, the stuff that wouldn't burn before, let's lay it on there. See the heat? That thing gives off a lot of heat and it burns continuously. So that was the bark that we peeled off. You know it wasn't dry enough. I just wanted to prove that it will burn it without an issue. And if I pull this up, and allow this to burn, continuously burn. Look at that. And that, my friend, is that's the Mini Inferno. Good stuff. Nothing like a little inner bark getting burned. Fire. There you go. Now, you ready to check our progress? We should have enough there. So I've gave you some tips. Okay. Now, see what we've done here. Yeah. Oh, looky there. You have now got yourself char. So, and we just made that, and we've got ourselves char, and you've got punk wood that's charred in there. Let's see if I can. See that? You can just stir it down here. Get a piece of it. And get this in the camera view. Char. See that? Right there is your char. And this is charred punk wood. It should be real easy to get a fire going with it. Takes a lot. We grab. You've seen that? Just pick it up. Cup it in here. Fire. See that? And then our punk wood here, which you can see. Embers. There you go. Now, I've showed you how to make a tinder bundle. Showed you how to light it off. I showed you how to make char and gave you an example of what to do. Remember, deny it oxygen. Deny it oxygen all the way to the end. Feather sticks, how to make one. How to make a good tinder bundle. So you want inner bark, outer bark or dry grass. You want that inner bark very fibrous. As fibrous as you can get it in that center. Okay, so you want a lot of little fibers in there. Gave you some examples on all of that. Okay, all that inner bark and all that good stuff. And I know it's been a pretty long video, but I've showed you a lot of stuff, gave you some tips and tricks. Understand that this is for the actual prize. Now, quick recap of the prize. It's the Pathfinder water bottle. You'll make either char cloth, fungus, or punk wood char. Either of the three. You will make, I want to see it before and after, by the way, of all of these. Then you'll make a feather stick, piece of wood before, and what your feather stick look like after. And then a tinder bundle of natural tinder, not jute twine. So you can have grass, pine needles, inner barks, outer barks. And I want to see the bundle, then I want to see it burning. And if you want extra points, and I'll tell you what, for the person that goes extra points, right, and for the person that goes above and beyond it, sorry about that, we, or should I say I, am going to have a runner-up, and that runner-up will get this. This is that recycled Cruplex drinking vessel from the Pathfinder store, hanging around your neck. Pretty cool, whatever. Very super lightweight. I'm going to give this to the runner-up who I've chosen. I'm going to random pick the others, everybody that's in, and then I'm going to pick one person to get this myself. All right? So remember, take a picture before, after. I want to see how you do, what you got to begin with and what you got after, and then you can tag me on Facebook or on YouTube, and I need to see that. That's how you'll enter. Okay? So if anybody has any questions, you have 2 weeks to complete this from today. So probably tomorrow, actually. I'll download it tonight. So it'll be 2 weeks from this Tuesday. And I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's entry. You take care of each other. And again, thank you to each and every one of you for making our dream of a great community come true. Till next time, living to learn. Take care of yourself.